Welcome to my office. I'm going to give you behind the scenes of how I keep organized as a reseller. I sell on platforms such as Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and I also have my own Shopify store. And sometimes it can be a little bit chaotic keeping organized if you're doing live sales or just running your day-to-day activities. I decided the easiest thing for me to do is to use these clear bins. So as you can see behind me, we have all the clothing in clear bins. That way, if you accidentally forget to log your inventory into a certain place, or if somehow it's mysteriously get lost, you can easily see the item in the container. All of the containers are numbered from 1 through 30, which makes it a lot easier. And I also have them organized by categories, such as the dresses are in one area, the skirts are in one area. Over here I have my sweaters. This section over here I have some pants, we have some accessories and things like that. Now I've been kind of playing around with how I wanted to display my inventory and kind of tweaking it as I go. I've been reselling for over 6 years now, and I feel like this is the best that suits the things and my needs. So if someone else does it different, it's okay, and I encourage you to do what works for you, but this works for me. And I used to have my inventory system where the items were actually enclosed in the clear plastic bags, but as I began to do more live sales, I had to remove those clothing from the bags, and it just became too hectic because I was just wasting a lot of plastic bags. So I just decided to eliminate the plastic bags with the numbers on them, and I actually put the item number on a tag, and I attached the tag to the clothing itself. Just in case I have to remove it, then I can still know that this item belongs to this specific inventory number, if that makes sense. So let me kind of pull out a little bit so you can kind of see. So this one is 22. This one has all my shirts and things. They have tags on them. And I even went a little bit further by organizing it by the types of shirts. So with the blouses and shirts, these are more of the wovens. Here we have our knit tops. So in my mind, if I make a sale, I can automatically say, okay, where are the tops? What type of top is it? I really don't have to go back to my spreadsheet or anything to find it, unless it's just like really difficult, but everything is pretty easy to find. And that way I can just get it within under a minute. I know where it is. But if I have someone else helping me, it helps that I have the item number attached to it, and I have the bin number that it is located, which helps if I get sick or anything and I can't do it myself. So let's take a little tour of my office. My office space isn't that big, and I encourage you, this actually used to be like a dining area that I turned into an office. So I thought that was pretty neat. I didn't have that much space, but I utilized each area to the best of its ability. And I'm happy to show you what I have created here in my little space while I work from home as a stay-at-home mother of 3 children. We're going to start with, that's the door that I enter. That door connects to our kitchen. And as I pan around slowly, you see I have a little sign with my company name on there. And this is where I do my shipping. So I also do sewing. So you see my sewing supplies and my sewing machine. This big desk here, it was a sewing table, but now it's actually made for my shipping station, and I sew on it as well. And I wanted a big space that I could easily package my items. I actually used tile to cover up the table that I created for my space, and it has my tape dispenser, and if I pan a little closer, you see my scale and my shipping printer, my label printer. Here are just the items that I grabbed very quickly in order to do my packaging, like my tag gun, my stickers, things like that. Here is another 2 doors that leads out into the hallway going upstairs. And then this is my rolling rack when I do live sales. I hang everything on there. Right now for my organization, I have my coats hanging because those are bigger items that cannot be stored within the bins. Here's my little stand for holding my phone. Right now I'm holding it as I pan around. And under the desk, we actually have storage under there where I keep like my paperwork and things like that, belts, other things. On this side, I have like a little board. It's like a big foam board. It goes all the way up to the ceiling and all the way down to the ground. And this is what I use in order to take my photos. This is my background for taking photos with my mannequins. My mannequins are kind of lined up here on the back wall. This is like a bay window, so it kind of gives me a little bit extra storage there to store my mannequins. And I have my steamer right here at the back, and then those are the curtains kind of covering up. And for lighting, I really don't use anything in particular. I just use my, I'm going to pan up, hopefully it's not too bright, I use my bright fan. So some people ask about my lighting. I actually just put daylight bulbs into the lights so that it can give me that natural glow. And it pretty much works for giving me the lighting that I need. Some areas in the office have better lighting than others. So when I'm recording, it helps to have to just be in certain places where the lighting is good. And now I know how to kind of lock the lighting in. So if I'm standing in one place, I just lock that lighting in on my phone so that I don't have any weird shadows, things like that. And that is pretty much my office tour. Over here in the corner, I do have a space where I store my shoes. So I actually go up to bin 31. And then I have my bags for grabbing when I'm shipping my orders. Here I keep some plastic things and some home decor materials. And that is pretty much it. So I'm going to go in a little bit deeper on some of the supplies that I use and how I stay organized. Now, when it comes to staying organized, I really like to keep it as simple as possible. Being a mother of 3 children, I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of the things that I need to do. So I really have to take each moment and use it as best as I can. I created a spreadsheet that helps me stay organized, and I'll kind of give you a little bit of details about the spreadsheet. But as you saw when I gave you a tour of the room, all the items are placed in their bin. That is their location in the bins. And then I do have my hanging items as well. Each item has an item number attached to the clothing, so that again, if I have to pull them out of the bins, the item number is still attached. Before, I had the item number attached to the plastic bag that I shipped it in, and it just didn't work because I didn't know if I was going to do live sales. And I know sometimes live sales kind of throw a lot of people for a loop because you just don't really know, where your items are going. Everything's moving so fast. So I really wanted to make sure that I stay organized with the different things that I had to do. If I had to take the items out, I can quickly go into my spreadsheet and just change the location from bin 15 or something like that to hanging. That way I know where it is at all times. And I'll give you a little brief overview of the spreadsheet that I use. I actually have a spreadsheet that I created, and it keeps track of my inventory for up to 5 years. That way I don't have to worry about switching over to a new spreadsheet after the year is done, and it has everything that I need to keep my business in order. For example, I have a location for my sourcing receipts where I can add up the total of my sourcing receipts. I also have a place where I do payouts in my business, which is very key when it comes to tracking your reselling business so that you know how much you're getting paid. I have a custom overview tab where that I can check any time or any 2 specific dates, and I can see what my sales were and get a brief overview of how I did during that time. For example, if I wanted to know how my business did on the weekend of Christmas, something like that, I can easily put in that weekend date from the start date to the end date, and it'll pull up all that information. So I can show you that as well so that you can know. But if you guys have any questions on kind of going a little bit deeper on how I keep track of my inventory, please feel free to let me know. Write it down in the comments below and I'll be happy to answer your questions. I do like to use mannequins when I take my photos. That way I have my own personal photos instead of using stock photos. I feel better knowing that you actually get to see the live item so that it doesn't look or the color doesn't alter from the actual photo. So you really get a full sense of what the item is looking like and how it's going to look on the body before it comes to your home. Now over here on my desk is where, again, I do my kind of taking the lint off the clothing, packaging the clothing, sorting. It just gives me a big desk to work on whenever I need to do something. I also sew on this table like I mentioned before, but I try to keep everything as close as possible. So I'll have my iPad where I'm going through my spreadsheet and entering in the information there. I always keep that close by. I have my tag gun to put all the tags with the item numbers. I have my little roll of stickers in hand's reach. I also have my thank you stickers. I have down here my mailers of what I mail when I ship my items. I keep that there. I have my pens for sewing or whenever I need to like adjust my clothing for lives and things like that. We have scissors. Now this, before I was using one of those tape guns that you hold in your hand, and I saw someone using this and I was like, I have to have this. And this saves so much time when it comes to putting tape on your boxes. Like, it doesn't move. You just take the tape off and you put it on the box. It saves you so much time. That way you don't have to fiddle with the tape gun when it loses the spot or it gets like jammed and you trying to figure it out and it's just too much. So it has the big tape dispenser and it also has a small one for like when I tape my mailers onto the bag and things like that. And this comes in handy. What do we have up here? Up here I keep like my extra tape and my stickers. We have measuring tape. Up here I keep my glasses that I wear. Up here and my scissors, and just kind of give it like a little aesthetic appeal when I'm recording my ship with me's and things like that. Over here we have my printer, my label printer. I'm glad that everything is kind of like small because I don't want to take up too much space because again I need to use the majority of the space for folding. And then when I need to pull my sewing machine forward, I can just easily pull it and do some sewing tutorials, which stay tuned for my sewing because I do like to sew. I actually went to school for fashion design, so I love fashion, and you'll be able to see some of my sewing videos. Put a comment below, say sewing, if you want to see me do some sewing tutorials. And I think that's pretty much it. Again, it's very simple. The majority of the organization is really in my spreadsheet. I keep everything that's in this room right in here so that I can access it at any time and know my numbers for my business, which I think a lot of people should focus on your profit margins, seeing how your sales are going, and knowing how your business is doing, because we don't want to do this for no reason. We want to make money, we want to be at a profit, and we want to know what we need to do in order to improve. So I appreciate you all for watching. Again, I'm Charmaine, and I'll be dropping some more videos to kind of let you know how I stay organized and have some conversation about being a mom of 3 and how I manage. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.